Hi guys, today we're going to be working on a scrunchie and I've got some fun velvety yarn. Here is a scrunchie I've already made and it's nice and fluffy. Yeah, so we're going to make this together. What you need is some yarn. I'm using a velvet yarn which calls for a size 9mm hook, which I have here, and then I have a nice strong hairband to start with. So what you need to do first is put this aside and get out your yarn, and you're going to make a chain of 40. So I'm just gonna make a slip knot onto my hook. Okay, and go ahead and chain 40. Okay, so I've made 40 stitches, and actually I need to make one more. I'm just going to make one more for my turning chain, so that's 41. And now I need to work across my chain doing single crochet stitches. So I'm skipping the first one, going into the second, and I'm just going to single crochet across. So basically what you need to know about making scrunchies is that the longer your chain is, the more it's going to be frilly like this. The more it's going to be bunched up and nice and wavy. The higher you make it, so the more rows you do, the higher it's going to be going up like this. And so I like to do usually 4 rows of single crochet. So we're just going to do 40 across the chain, and then we're going to chain 1 and turn and do 4 rows of single crochet. Okay, so I'm in my last stitch like so. I've worked across my chain, and now I'm just going to chain 1 and turn, and then I'm going to work across again. So going into every stitch, I'm going to make 40 stitches total for my second row, and then I'm going to continue on and doing this 2 more times, so we have a total of 4 rows. So just go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you guys at the end of my 4th row. Okay, so I've just done 4 rows, and now I'm just going to see if I like the height. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold it over, and this is how big it would be around your scrunchie. So I actually think it's about an inch, maybe a little bit bigger than an inch high. I think I might want to do 1 more row to make it just a little bit more chunky. So I'm going to do 1 more row. Okay, so I've done 5 rows, and now what you're going to do is you're going to fold this over your piece right here. So I'm just going to stick my needle in there, and I'm actually going to flip it around so it's easier to work with. You're going to insert your hair tie in the middle like this, and then you're going to basically be slip stitching into the other side, into the bottom side. So I'm just going to find my bottom loop, making sure that I have my hair tie in the middle there, and I'm going to yarn over and slip stitch like so. Can you see how it's just caught in there? And then I'm going to go to my next stitch on the top, and then go on my next stitch on the bottom, going to yarn over and pull through. So I'm connecting both sides, the top and then the bottom, yarn over and pull through. And you see how it's just kind of closing itself around the hair tie. So you're just going to do that all the way down, and I'll show you how to handle that. It can get a little bit tricky as your fabric starts to bunch up. Okay, so you see how it's bunching up kind of? It's getting a little bit trickier. So what I do is I just kind of pull on my scrunchie, and then I push my fabric around it like this so that I have it in my hands, and then I just continue to do what I was doing. So holding it like this, and then I just connect both sides. Like so. Okay, so I'm going to pull my scrunchie and then just wrap around the fabric, and then I'm going to slip stitch through. Okay, so just stretching it out and then putting the two sides together. Pretty easy. I like it like this, doing it this way instead of just crocheting around, doing single crochets around the actual band. I think this looks better. So you can see it's starting to get a little bit wavy. That's what we want. I like it like that too. So I'm just going to keep on combining my sides. So now I've gone all the way around, and I just now have to combine these two sides together. So I'm actually going to go on this side and wrap around and go on the back side, just slip stitching the two sides together. So I'm just going to pull up any loop on this side and any loop on that side, and I'm going to slip stitch them. So I'm finding the next loop and the next loop on this side and slip stitching it together. You can't really see it, to be honest. Doesn't really matter which loop you pull. And these bottom loops here, just gonna grab one side, grab the other, and then slip stitch it. And now I need to kind of twist my work and do the other side. So I just kind of flipped it under, and I'm gonna combine both of these sides. Okay, perfect. So now I've combined my sides. I need to just cut my yarn, leaving myself a tail. I'm gonna pull this through like so. And then I need to take a tapestry needle, and I just need to sew this in. So I've got my little container of tapestry needles, which I love. And you see how there's like this little white string in the middle? The best way to prevent that from fraying is to get that spray. It's like, I can't remember what it's called, anti-fray spray or something like that. And then, or you could do like hot glue or something like that to keep it from coming apart, because if you don't, then these little fibers are gonna come off. So I don't have this spray, so I'm just gonna thread this through anyway. And then you're just gonna thread it through and hide the tail. I always like to thread in lots of different directions. So I can hide my tail. And then I'm going to cut the rest off. And then you just pull it a little bit, and then it will disappear into itself. Okay, so this is my scrunchie. You can see how nice and wavy it is. Yep. I love it. This is what it looks like on, nice and wavy. So if you want it to be even more wavy, then you would do more of a chain. So I would do like chain 50 instead of chain 40. And it will just become even more crunchy like that. If you want it to be higher and more bulky, then you would just do more than 5 rows. We did 5 rows, so maybe try doing 6 or 7 rows, and it will be even higher up. I've noticed that a lot of scrunchies that you buy from the store, they're actually half the height of this. They're always pretty wavy, but they're half the height, so I like that. This is what I like about making my own scrunchies. You can tell that they're unique because they're higher and more dramatic and really cute. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.